program's first ever NCAA tournament win over Mississippi State. These two Bisons have won 50 games in their careers, and they aren't done yet. Our first senior is Cammy Mcgee, escorted by her parents, Crystal and Craig Mcgee. A native of Collierville, Tennessee, Cammy has competed in 51 games over 4 seasons with the Bisons. She has scored 4 goals and tallied a pair of assists to earn a total of 10 points for Lipscomb. Coach O'Brien says the following about Cammy. It's been a true pleasure coaching Cammy here at Lipscomb. I knew from her first recruiting email in 2017 that she'd be a great fit in our program, and boy am I thankful she said yes. Not only has she been a terrific player on the field, but she has also been a lot of fun too. As one of the confident ones, Cammy has never held back from giving me a hard time or making a joke at my expense. I love that. Her heart to serve God with her gifts and abilities, both on and off the field, is special, and the joy in her heart is evident to all who are in her life. On the field, she's an exciting player to have on the team. Her pace and power are unmatched, and she's always a difficult assignment for any defender. I respect and admire the person that Cammy has become here at Lipscomb, and I believe she'll make a great impact in the world, wherever it is that God calls her next. Ladies and gentlemen, number 16, Cammy Mcgee. Our final senior is Christy Jones, escorted by her parents, Leslie and Randy Jones. From Lynn Haven, Florida, Christy has taken the field 53 times over the course of 4 seasons at Lipscomb. This senior has scored 3 goals and 1 assist over the course of her Lipscomb career. Coach O'Brien says the following about Christy. What an incredible person and player we've had in Christy Jones. She's been a huge reason for our success as a program over the past 4 years. Her 2 game-winning goals versus FGCU in 2018 and 2019 will forever be etched in my memory as program-defining moments. Beyond the stellar play on the field, Christy is even a better human being. She is one of the most positive and encouraging players to ever represent our program. Her smile and enthusiasm are infectious, and it's hard to leave an interaction with Christy not feeling encouraged. Even when an ankle injury sidelined her this past season, she didn't let her circumstances get her down. She is the epitome of a servant leader and does whatever she can to help her teammates, and this team be successful. Serving alongside Christy in El Salvador was a personal highlight of mine as her coach, as I was able to witness her capacity to love others so incredibly well. I am fully confident that Christy Jones will be a huge success in all her future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, number 11, Christy Jones. Let's hear it one more time for both of our seniors, Cammy Mcgee and Christy Jones. Sophomore midfielder 14, Emily Whistle. Senior midfielder 16, Annie Sultan. Sophomore midfielder 25, Sydney Grove. And freshman defender number 27, Henry. The Sugar Bears are led by head coach Jeremy Bishop and assisted by Garrett Nichols and Maria Sterling. And now the starting lineup for your Lipscomb Bison. A freshman goalkeeper from Swannanoa, North Carolina, number 1, CJ Graham. A sophomore defender from Frisco, Texas, number 2, Shelby Craft. A junior midfielder from Prattville, Alabama, number 3, Cami Rogers. A sophomore defender from Alpharetta, Georgia, number 6, Katia Hanger. A junior midfielder from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, number 7, Allie Dunn. A sophomore defender from Birmingham, Alabama, number 8, Logan Mcfadden. A junior midfielder from Lynn Haven, Florida, number 11, Christy Jones. A sophomore forward from Collierville, Tennessee, number 16, Cammy Mcgee. A freshman defender from Tarpon Springs, Florida, number 19, Olivia Carapaza. A sophomore forward from Plainfield, Illinois, number 26, Molly Grant. And a sophomore defender from Nashville, number 31, Angela Steiner. The Bisons are led by head coach Kevin O'Brien for his 10th season. Associate head coach Leah Fortune, assisted by Nathan Chatfield and Kate Mason. Officials for today's match are Shane Butler, Jerva Saganya, and Don Tebow. At this time, we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the flag in the southeast corner of the field for the playing of our national anthem.
Shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot.
Another beautiful evening in the Music City as we welcome you to Lipscomb University as the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. We've got a great match on tap tonight as the Central Arkansas Sugar Bears travel to Nashville to take on the Lipscomb Bison's final game of this ASUN regular season before ASUN Madness starts with the ASUN Women's Soccer Tournament. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lipscomb University and the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Justin Seaman here with you alongside Erica Plunkett. And Erica, it's all come down to this for probably the #1 seed in this upcoming ASUN Conference Tournament, as Central Arkansas currently sitting atop the West Division with 12 points. They're 9-7, but more importantly, 6-2 in the ASUN. Lipscomb, 11-4-1, 6-2 also in the ASUN, but with just 9 points as opposed to Central Arkansas 12 points. So with a Lipscomb win today, we can say with about as much confidence as we believe that Lipscomb will have the tiebreaker over Central Arkansas, will have the #1 seed in the ASUN Conference Tournament. On the flip side, with a tie or a win, Central Arkansas gets that #1 seed.
Yes, and it's unique because Lipscomb and Central Arkansas both have those 6-2 records in the conference. So you're probably wondering how they have the 12 points and Lipscomb only has the 9. As a reminder, the ASUN added 3 new teams, including Central Arkansas, in the offseason, which has now created 2 divisions, the West and the East. Crossover games did not actually count for points within the conference, but it did count towards your conference record, and that had changed actually mid-season. They originally were not even going to count it towards the conference record, but they changed that up. They are starting it as part of your conference record, but you are not going to get points for crossover games. But these games within divisions are so important. This is for the #1 seed and to host, and it's an exciting night for senior night here for Lipscomb. I know they have a lot to play for.
A couple of seniors starting tonight for Lipscomb, Cammy Mcgee and also Christy Jones getting the start tonight for the Bisons as we are underway, just underway here from the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. A beautiful evening, perfect. You know, last night high school football around the area, just a picture-perfect evening for high school football. Well, the same can be said about soccer as well. This is, just perfect weather for soccer as it'll probably get into the 60s. Here's a quick move. Lipscomb with an early attack, trying to get a crosser over now, top of the box. Here's Dunn, Allie Dunn trying to work something in, and the Sugar Bears will get it out. I was just about to say, expect some offense in this one. You've got Lipscomb, the #1 team in the conference in shots, has 280 shots on the year. Lipscomb is also #1 on shots per game and shots on goal. But on the flip side, Central Arkansas is #1 in the conference in actual goals this year. So 2 very good offensive teams, but also don't sleep on their defenses either. Central Arkansas leads the conference with 5 shutouts this year as well.
Both of these teams match up very, very well. I had a chance to talk to Coach O'Brien yesterday, and he talked about how similar they are. And so both these teams, it's just a chance to go out there and play your game, stay true to who you are. His philosophy in the regular season is just to stick with what they are good at, not try to switch it up too much. If he needs to make some crazy adjustments, he saves that for the postseason. And so we expect to see more of the same from Lipscomb, a lot of shots, a lot of offense, but a rock-solid defense led by the 2 center backs, Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger.
And they will have their hands full, especially with Emma Hawkins, who is the scoring threat extraordinaire for this Central Arkansas team, leads the conference with 13 goals this year. She is just breaking records at Central Arkansas. There's a crosser in towards the goal. Great early save there by Keila Perez. Excuse me, that's Kayla Perez who makes the save, the goalkeeper for Central Arkansas. That one played on the right side to Dunn with some time and space. Dunn trying to work it into the corner. Here's Grant. She is onside. Grant in the box, looking to center, and just loses it, and it'll be a goal kick. Pretty good offense so early from Lipscomb. They've had a couple of opportunities here early in the box.
We've seen a lot of action in University of Central Arkansas's box. Meanwhile, we haven't seen much action around C.J. Graham, but you mentioned it, Emma Hawkins is going to try her best to make sure that that is not the case for very long. Coach O'Brien believes that Emma Hawkins could be the ASUN Player of the Year. She has been so talented, and he knows that his defense has a challenge, but he believes they're up to that challenge, even tonight without starting left back Emily Patty, which moves Olivia Carapaza out to the left back position and brings Angela Steidel into that right back position.
The good news for Lipscomb is they've had to have this lineup before, so Steidel coming in playing that right back has been there. Here's a look in the middle. That time it's Landry trying to get it over to the right side for Central Arkansas. And that's played nicely. Good touch that time by Cami Rogers. Carapaza tries to get it out of the zone, but it'll stay in the offensive end for the Sugar Bears. This one, though, mishandled for a second, and now they're going to say a foul against Cami Rogers trying to get the advantage there. So it'll be a free kick for Central Arkansas. these two teams, this is the 9th overall meeting between Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas leads the all-time record 5-2-1 as that one headed out by Mcfadden. And interestingly enough, Central Arkansas is 3-0-1 here at the Lipscomb Soccer Complex. Nice move there, as trying to make a run on it is that senior we talked about, Cammy Mcgee. I say all that to say these two teams haven't played since 2013. So although Central Arkansas with the advantage here, and you think going on the road and having that never lost in this, it's a little different because they haven't played here in around 9 years. The last meeting here in 2013 was actually a double overtime tie, 2-2. And again, just to remind those, if you're just joining us, what's at stake here is Lipscomb with a win should have the tiebreaker and the number 1 seed, we believe, in the ASUN Conference Tournament coming up. A tie or a win for Central Arkansas gives them the number 1 seed.
And the difference, too, between those last games that Lipscomb and Central Arkansas played and this is a conference game. It never has been a conference game before. So those non-conference games, you see it in any sport. You see it in college football. You see it in college baseball. You see it in college soccer as well. Yes, you want to do well in the non-conference, and those games are important, but you're willing to take more risk, and you're willing to switch things up more in the non-conference games than you are in the conference games. So, you know, it's not exactly a comparison of apples to apples here.
And if my math is correct, which highly likely that it may not be, but Coach Kevin O'Brien entering his 10th year, I believe it was around 9 years ago they played. So that would have been probably Coach O'Brien's first year as Lipscomb's head coach. And we know what he inherited when he came in and how he's turned around this Lipscomb program to what it is. Nice stick in there by Lipscomb. Shelby Kraft trying to put a little loft under it. Molly Grant. Grant, we know, will be very aggressive pushing that back defensive line for Central Arkansas. Lipscomb's last game, or the game before, I think they had 15 offside penalties, but that's the way this Lipscomb team likes to play. That's why they're number 1 in shots and shots on goal.
And that game was a unique situation. Jacksonville State was bringing up their line to draw Lipscomb offsides on purpose. So I don't expect to see that same tactic from Central Arkansas tonight. I expect them to be a lot more aggressive, and they're going to play how they need to play, less so trying to draw a foul on Lipscomb.
Ball down, but trying to get over is Molly Grant, and puts a little pressure that time on Kayla Perez. Well, we haven't really got to talk about Emma Hawkins that much yet, but I expect her to get going here soon. As I mentioned, she leads the ASUN with 13 goals so far this year. But you look at her records in Central Arkansas history, single season goals 14, she's second behind that. So a chance to tie the single season record, as that was an even play. Nicely played by Steidel there, as that was a chance for the Sugar Bears, and now going to get a foul against Central Arkansas. But to me, what's so impressive, she's third all-time in goals. She's got 32 all-time goals for Central Arkansas. The leader in the history is 39, so she's got a chance. If she gets to 39, she'd be second all-time. So, I mean, she is climbing the record books for sure. There's a nice pass here, and here's a shot, and that's going to go wide. What an opportunity, as that was Cammy Mcgee. What a senior night that would be if she was able to net the first goal.
Cammy Mcgee is a player who Coach O'Brien loves. She brings so much energy to this team, and she really has been able to do what the team needs her to do. She isn't a starter necessarily every game, but she's come in as a starter or as a relief player, substitute, and done very, very well for this program. She's happy whenever she gets an opportunity. She is a player who just, you can tell, loves her teammates and wants the best for them. She's hoping to go into ministry at some point next year once she graduates. So a really awesome player, and we want her to do the best, as well as Christy Jones, who's looking to go to PA school next year. She hasn't had as many starts this year But Coach O'Brien is so thankful for her contributions to this program, most notably in 2018 and 2019 when she had those goals against Florida Gulf Coast. Finally, they were able to get past the elephant in the room, the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles, who have not been as successful the last couple of years, but for a while were undefeated against the Bisons until those 2 seasons when Lipscomb finally won the conference tournaments against them.
McGee trying to sneak behind the defense. Now a little counter action for Central Arkansas. They're quick moving up the field. Katia Hanger will cut it off, and now she'll kick it over to Olivia Carapaza. Played about 10 minutes here in this opening half between these two teams that lead the West Division, and no score so far. Lipscomb has had 3 shots. We have not had a shot on goal yet from either team.
That cross didn't go exactly where Cammy Mcgee wanted it, but Cami Rogers recovers.
There's a cross. Here's Dunn. She'll put a shot off the bar. That one goes off the post. Follow-up is over, and I'm telling you, that one, unbelievable. It goes off the right post.
I don't know how that shot wasn't put into the goal, but great job sticking with that. After Cammy Mcgee kind of lost it, she was marked up well by her defender. Cami Rogers came in to help her out, was able to get a great cross across, and Allie Dunn just snuck through the defense, had a great chance there as she gets it up to Molly Grant now. But it all started with Olivia Carapaza. She had some incredible footwork working against her defender and got that started. She's been unbelievable for this program as a freshman.
So golden opportunity for Lipscomb, and it goes off the right post. Unfortunate or lucky for Central Arkansas, however you want to say. Unfortunate for Lipscomb, lucky for Central Arkansas, because not any fault of her own, but Kayla Perez was dead to rights. She had no chance on that one.
And she had no choice because Cami Rogers, a midfielder but the leading scorer for a period of time for the Bisons, she had the ball coming up the left side of the field. She had to keep her eye on Cami Rogers, because if she didn't, it likely could have been another goal for Rogers. But she can't forget about Allie Dunn either.
I'm not an expert in soccer statistics by any measure, but that's not recorded as a shot on goal because I guess because the goalie doesn't actually make a play on it. But if there was ever a shot on goal, that one was on goal because it hit the right goal post. So still 5 shots for Lipscomb, technically no shots on goal, although that was a fantastic scoring opportunity for the Bisons. Lipscomb will work it back in, and that one's going to be played over there by Grace Hare. Now we're going to have a goal kick again. And Taylor Webb, it's kind of interesting, Perez giving way to Webb a couple of times now for the goal kick.
Sometimes they'll swap out if they want more strategic placement with the shot. Sometimes the goalie does not feel as confident making those kicks.
Nice header there by Hanger. Looked like potentially a handball there. No call. Battle there against Rollo. Rollo losing that battle there, and Lipscomb will attack again, trying to work back into the box. Here's Mcgee trying to save it. She does center it. Molly Grant is there, but just doesn't really have anything she can do with it. But a great effort that time by Rogers. And you know, this is one of those things, you're all around the scoring opportunities. The thing I think Lipscomb's got to be careful of, you don't push too far up and have a quick counterattack, because that can happen sometimes. You're putting all the pressure there, and, you know, sometimes the defenders even want to go in to help out a little bit.
Absolutely, and we saw that be an issue for Jacksonville State last time that Lipscomb played them, which is why they adjusted their defensive formation in the second half and really didn't attempt too many shots.
That one played back, trying to get the structure set up again on the offensive end. Looking for a run. There is one. That one slips past Perez. She didn't touch it. But another dangerous opportunity for Lipscomb.
I've been impressed. I think going into this game, we knew how capable Central Arkansas was. And I expected a little bit more of an evenly matched game. Granted, we're only 15 minutes in, but so far this game has been dominated by Lipscomb. Very rarely have we seen the ball trickle onto Lipscomb's side of the field, and when we have, it's been one Bear by herself and no other players around her to help.
The one thing you can realize, though, from the statistics, sometimes volume doesn't always tell the story. Lipscomb, volume-wise, they're going to put a ton of shots on goal, and we've already seen this. But efficiency-wise, Central Arkansas may be the most efficient team. They've got a 50% shot on goal percentage. So when they shoot the ball, most of the time it is on goal. And they do, again, lead the conference in goals this year. So don't let it deceive you that Central Arkansas doesn't have a shot yet, because, like I said, statistically, they've got 34 goals this year, and they're averaging more goals per game than Lipscomb. They're averaging over 2 goals per game. Lipscomb is under 2 goals per game. But like I said, if you look at the disparity in shots, Lipscomb with 280 shot attempts, Central Arkansas with 215. So, I mean, Lipscomb definitely leading the way on shots, and that's even playing out here in the early goings. Just under 30 minutes left here in the first half. Still no score between Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. Of course, Lipscomb in the white, trimmed in purple. Central Arkansas in the black with the white. Central Arkansas, formerly of the Southland Conference, joining the ASUN this year. So this is their first year in the ASUN, and man, trying to keep track around the country with conference realignment. There were more announced on Friday, you know, Sun Belt, Conference USA, things moving around there, and of course the AAC adding teams, and who knows how that could continue to impact the ASUN, the OVC, some of these. You know, it's really interesting how that Texas-Oklahoma from the SEC has had such a trickle-down effect to a lot of these mid-major smaller conferences. Touch there, and really for the first time tonight, we've said C.J. Graham's name as she's able to make a easy play on that one.
I think those conference realignments only continue to improve the level of play at each level. When I was talking to Coach O'Brien, he mentioned how consistently a few years ago, you would have undefeated teams in the conference. There was a very big disparity between the top of the conference and the bottom of the conference. And he just doesn't believe that there's going to be that many undefeated conference records in the ASUN, at least in women's soccer anymore, based upon the level of competition that you have in both sides of the conference, the West and the East.
Well, it's just a gauntlet. I mean, it's a gauntlet of teams. I was talking, you know, to Coach Lenny Acuff in basketball. He said, you know, I mean, this is, you're talking, you know, 12, 13 teams. I mean, that's tough. It's very tough. And then the thing about conference play is you become so familiar with opponents. So I agree completely. And we're seeing it, the level of play getting better. The records may not reflect that. You may see more losses, like you said, but that doesn't mean that the level of play has dipped. In fact, it's probably gone the other way and gotten better.
And you see the teams beating up on each other, which is pulls down their NCAA rankings and the RPI. It's fascinating right now. The highest ranked ASUN team, as Emma Hawkins almost gets a chance, but C.J. Graham gets rid of that to Katia Hanger. The highest ranked team in the RPI right now in the ASUN is North Florida. North Florida is currently sitting at 4th in the eastern side of the conference, which shows you how the ASUN has played out this year in particular.
Just the strength of schedule. Interesting, you talk about scheduling. Before the regular season kicked off, the Sugar Bears had the opportunity to play an exhibition match against the under-20 Paraguayan, I think is how you say that, Paraguayan national team. And they were also, you know, able to take a 2-0 win as there's a shot, and that's going to be in. Shelby Kraft from the right side of the box sends it into the left corner. And at the 26-28 mark, Lipscomb takes the 1-0 lead behind the foot of Shelby Kraft.
Shelby Kraft, we knew she was great. Defensive Player of the Year last year. up for Defensive Player of the Year again this year, but she has actually played as a midfielder all season long. Coach O'Brien still thinks that she can win Defensive Player of the Year this year based upon how well that she has done. She hasn't played midfield before, but he asked her to do it. He knew how talented she was. And when I asked him who is a player that has surprised him and just really gone above and beyond this season, he pointed to Shelby Craft. He's like, you wouldn't think Shelby Craft because she's so talented, and we already knew that. But she's playing a totally different position that takes a totally new skill set, and she's done it beautifully. She gives the team goals when she needs to, and she comes back and is one of their best defenders. A lot of times we'll see her go into that center back position while Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger go up for corner kicks. So she just is the all-around all-star for this team. And that's something big to be said, especially when you're playing with two backs like Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger. Logan Mcfadden actually just got called up to the Jamaican national team, got to go play with them against Costa Rica this week. And she said it was just an incredible opportunity. She said it was an absolute honor to be called up and to represent Jamaica against Costa Rica. It was great to see the camaraderie between my teammates, especially since they all play professionally worldwide. It validated what Coach O'Brien and the coaching staff at Lipscomb have instilled in me to be able to play at that level, and she hopes that she gets the chance to return for World Cup qualifiers. So when you're talking about a international player possibly getting edged out by Shelby Craft, that tells you how good Shelby Craft truly is.
Cammy Mcgee now on the counter for Lipscomb after Central Arkansas. After the goal, started to make a little bit of a push. They didn't have a shot on goal, but you're starting to see a little bit more aggressiveness by Central Arkansas. That goal, time of the goal, 18 minutes and 33 seconds. Shelby Craft with the goal, assisted by Allie Dunn, and it's a 1-0 game now. Bisons with the early lead over the Sugar Bears.
You do see that increase in speed from the Bears. Most notably, I saw Hawkins really quickly get down there to Lipscomb's goal line, just couldn't get around her defenders. But both teams know how much this game means. Yes, Central Arkansas right now is in the lead, but it all comes down to this one game. It's not a walk in the park for them.
Here's Dunn. She's coming in with some speed. She'll send the left foot, and that'll be right on goal, right into the hands of Perez. But I was kind of surprised she was able to weave through a few defenders there to even get a shot.
Beautiful off-balance shot from Allie Dunn to be able to not only kick with her left foot, but to do so while she was falling into that side is just incredible. Allie Dunn has a lot of experience. She's had to deal with some injuries, but she continues to come out there to compete every single day.
That was the 4th goal of the year by Shelby Craft. If I think I'm correct on this, her first 3 were outside the box. She has got such a kick. That one was just inside the box, the right side of the box, went back left corner. But Lipscomb, talk about impressive. Lipscomb has had 12 different players score a goal this year for the Bison. So you really can't just shut down one player on this Lipscomb team. They're just so versatile. And
it goes back to their endurance through a lot of injuries and other factors that have played into this season. Some of those players who have scored for Lipscomb are no longer with the team, at least for this season, with injury. And so I think a lot of people thought that it was going to be Lipscomb was going to take a huge step back with those injuries, but they haven't. They had some speed bumps along the way, but they are still competing for the #1 seed in the ASUN.
You talk about Kelly Byler, Kalea Perry, Ashley Watucky, and Emily Patty tonight dealing with an injury. So there has been some significant injuries from some key players, but it's kind of that next man up mentality or next woman up, we should say. But still, Lipscomb you just showed the strength, especially in the recruiting from Coach O'Brien.
I've been really impressed tonight so far with Angela Steidel. She's played way more physical than I've seen her play all season long. She's had to come in, we mentioned, has already come in for an earlier injury by Emily Patty, as she has that great cross into the box that's just going to roll harmlessly to Perez. But she has done a really, really good job of getting past Rollo on a few occasions on this side and doing so cleanly. Lipscomb they've played aggressive, but they've played very cleanly, not caused really too many issues in the foul game so far.
Grant trying to get it back, centering pass. Kicks it back to Steidel, who will send one into the box. Trying to get a header. It slips through to McGee, and McGee almost found a way to slip that one past Perez. And again, another shot by Lipscomb. That's their 8th shot already. Again, Central Arkansas has yet to record a shot. Approaching the 21-minute mark here in this first half. And most importantly, for Lipscomb, we haven't said Emma Hawkins' name very often, and I'm sure that's a big point of concern for Lipscomb was how do you stop Emma Hawkins, the ASUN league leader in scoring. She had a run right after the goal. She had a nice run to the right side, just unable, though, to find a teammate to get an opportunity with. Now, Central Arkansas trying to push back a little bit. We had some subs. We'll try to get you some names. I did see Emanuela Shirk come in for Lipscomb. We'll try to get, we had both sides, but sometimes it's hard as far away as we are to get all the subs. That one's sent into the box, headed out, but not cleared completely.
It looks like Haley Williams also came in. It looks like the 2 seniors, Christy Jones and Cammy Mcgee, are going to get a little bit of a break as Emanuela Shirk came in back to her role of center mid, and then Haley Williams went up top with Molly Grant. One thing that Coach O'Brien loves about the lineup of Molly Grant and Haley Williams is how they do a really good job of complementing each other. They're different in how they play the striker role, and so they balance each other out. And for Molly Grant's aggression, Haley keeps her a little bit more settled and does a really good job of, she plays a little bit slower, but not in a bad way.
That one crossed over to the left side. What a move by Carapaza. She'll send it into the box. Haley Williams can't settle it down. And now we'll see if Central Arkansas, they've had to kind of resort to having a lot of players back defensively, so they only have a couple of players up in the midfield area. This has been a first half so far that's been dominated by offensive zone time by Lipscomb. There's one sent down. You see Hawkins in the speed almost catching up to Logan Mcfadden. McFadden just has to clear it out, but you see the closing speed of Emma Hawkins. The throw in deep in the zone. There is Hawkins again. Trying to touch it back to somebody, but maybe just a little bit of a wrong touch there by Hawkins. Here's Emanuela Shirk, normal starter for Lipscomb, but coming in midway through the first half because of senior night. There's the aforementioned Logan Mcfadden, who you mentioned earlier about the Jamaican team. That is so neat, being in college and being able to do that. Just such a neat story for Logan Mcfadden.
And what's even more impressive to me about all of that is Logan does this phenomenally well out here on the field, and then she's a nursing major. And
wow.
I don't know how you do that, because I can't imagine being a nursing major without playing a collegiate sport. So
yeah, my sister and brother-in-law went through the Lipscomb nursing program, and I can tell you it is rigorous. Here's a chance. Central Arkansas shot. That'll be the first one of the night. First shot of the night comes at under 18 minutes left in the first half. That was Morgan Rollo.
And unfortunately for Central Arkansas, that shot was not even on goal.
So it wasn't on goal, but it was still, I think it should be recorded as a shot.
It will, yes.
But it is not yet, but it wasn't on goal, you're right. That one's cleared long by Carapaza. Here's McGee. She's kind of like the Energizer Bunny down there, Cami Rogers. Is that one centered by Cami Rogers? I was saying McGee, but I was really thinking Cami Rogers at the moment, the way she can track down some of those balls, and she got a nice touch into the middle of the box.
And Central Arkansas does now swap out their midfields. They just swapped out Morgan Rollo for Gabby Thies, and then they previously substituted Gibson for Sultan and Van Gundy for Landry. So that upper midfield line is completely new, got some fresh legs for Central Arkansas as they continue to try to press here before the half with about 15 minutes left.
Long ball there, batted around, cleared out, but Shirk pushing and no foul called. Shirk will turn and she'll send one towards the goal. And Manuela Shirk able to get it on. I'm kind of surprised a whistle not blown there. She was kind of behind the Central Arkansas player. Looked to me like maybe a little bit of a shove in the back, but the referee's right there, so he's right on top of it.
And unless it starts getting chippy, I would prefer for the ref to hold off on blowing the whistle. I think the game is a whole lot smoother. The teams, personally, I feel like they get less chippy if there's not a foul called every 5 minutes. So
there's a foul called there on Hawkins battling up against Katia Hanger. Here's Dunn. She assisted on the goal to Shelby Kraft. 1-0 lead for the Bisons. Lipscomb has outshot Central Arkansas 10-1 here in the first half, and no shots on goal yet for Central Arkansas.
It's not shocking to see Lipscomb with 10. That number that is shocking is that 1 for Central Arkansas. They're efficient with their shots, but they're normally getting more shots than just 1.5. And you see Lipscomb even has right now the confidence where Olivia Carapazza, Shelby Kraft, Katia Hanger, and Angela Seidel up until just now when Katia Hanger drops back off of that throw-in, they were all on Central Arkansas' side of the field.
Well, and the one thing you got to be concerned about, though, is the speed of Hawkins, because it did look on the one time we've seen her that she maybe could outrun Logan Mcfadden. So if you've just got, there's an option for Central Arkansas because they're having trouble maintaining possession in Lipscomb's end. Lipscomb will bring in a sub as Noah Ganthier comes into the game.
I believe Tori Wheeler also comes in for Allie Dunn.
There's a shot by Carapazza. You don't see that too often from Carapazza, but she'll push up, try to get a shot in there. Carapazza again, she'll put a deep shot on goal. Wow. Aggressiveness from Olivia Carapazza. You got to like that if you're Coach O'Brien.
Sometimes you want players to be a little bit more patient, but with the pace at which Lipscomb's playing and the shots that they're taking, if I'm Coach O'Brien, I don't mind that shot at all from Olivia Carapazza. Just gives Perez another chance to have to make a save, and in Lipscomb's case, they hope that she makes a mistake off of that one. We haven't really mentioned CJ Graham's name at all because we haven't had to. Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger have done a great job of avoiding that, but CJ Graham has just been phenomenal for Lipscomb all year long, coming in, being a starter for the Bisons, really for the first time. She's started before this season in a game or two, but this is her first true season.
Here's a foul. This is a foul. Emma Hawkins trying to come up, so this is a good free kick opportunity now for Central Arkansas, as we haven't really seen this. It's going to be Gracie Hare taking it. Central Arkansas going to move 4 or 5 right around the top of the box. So we'll see what Hare can do. This is good chance for Central Arkansas. That one into the box, but it's going to kind of, nobody even on the defensive side could really gauge where that one was going to land, and it'll be a goal kick. Shadia Valenzuela will come in now for Lipscomb. She'll be up checking in, I believe, for, I think that was Molly Grant checking out. Yes, it was. Kraft with a quick touch, but now Central Arkansas. Under 12 to go first half. Winner of this one, we believe, will be the #1 seed in the ASUN Conference Tournament that starts next week. Quarterfinal and semifinal action next weekend, starting on Friday. quarterfinal action on Friday. And seeding, of course, going to determine where those games are at as that one trickles through. And interesting, Katia Hanger it looked like she almost let that one go through her legs so C.J. Graham could just grab it.
I'm sure they practice that one all the time, and I'm sure C.J. was yelling in her ear. She did a really good job of shielding that ball where C.J. Graham could come over and get it.
Here's Shadia Valenzuela. Good footwork there. Ball will trickle through the box. Valenzuela trying to put on some pressure. Carapaz is showing her footwork off. Kraft with the ball. She's the lone goal scorer tonight. Lipscomb maybe a little late trying to switch sides of the field there, and Central Arkansas will control. Gabby Thies had it momentarily. Now there's going to be a foul whistled against Central Arkansas as Emmanuel Shirt going down hard. That was Abby Gibson, and no yellow card, but didn't look that intentional. I mean, it was still a foul, but.
No, she just mistimed her stab at the ball there and got nothing from the ball and all of Emmanuel Shirk. So good to see her up. Her leg is in a brace, but it's in fact not that leg that was taken out on that last foul.
Logan Mcfadden, such a good leg. She sends that one all the way to the goal. Easy save for Kayla Perez. Now Perez will boot that one out. Kraft in the midfield, battling. That one won that time by Van Gundy. Now it's taken back by Kraft. Coming over. Nicely played. There's Gibson. Just whistled for a foul moments ago. Tries to play it into the middle. Shadia Valenzuela battling there with Dickinson. Dickinson gets it over right side. Central Arkansas with under 10 to go first half, trying to find that equalizer. Here's Haley Williams trying to track one down on the right side. They'll play it off of Williams. I believe that should be a throw in for Central Arkansas. A couple more subs coming in for Central Arkansas. Again, Lipscomb has outshot Central Arkansas here in this first half, 11-1. Lipscomb with 4 shots on goal, including the lone goal by that player right there, Shelby Kraft. Right side to Steidel. Steidel surveying the field. She'll send one into the box. Valenzuela was closing in, and that's going to be a corner kick. First corner kick of the night for either team. Comes with under 9 minutes to go first half.
And Lipscomb does a very good job of placing their corner kicks. Even if they don't get a goal right off of this, this is just going to be another momentum boost for the Bisons.
Of course, Lipscomb brings down Mcfadden and Katia Hanger. That one going to go onto the side of the net. Perez was right there at the goal post, not going to have a chance of that one slipping in. And again, it'll be, I think that's Gracie, actually Taylor Webb, who's going to kick the goal kick. I've seen Webb do that a few times. There's Gracie here. She'll have the throw in now for Central Arkansas.
We've talked about Lipscomb's offense all night long, but let's talk about the Bears' defense not allowing but one shot, or one goal rather, from the Bisons, even off of those 11 shots. They have really done a good job of stifling a lot of very promising chances, most notably Perez doing a great job of guarding her net, being where she needed to be, judging the shots correctly. So credit to her for all of her hard work, keeping this a 1-0 game here late in the first half.
Well, and this game was inches away from being a 2-0 game because Allie Dunn had one go off the right post before the Shelby Craft goal. She was in the middle of the box, kind of right around that penalty shot mark, and just went off the right post. Now here's a chance. Lipscomb closing in. There's a foul by Hawkins. Be a little frustration from Emma Hawkins trying to get uncorked here for Central Arkansas. Again, the league leader in goals, 13 on the season for Emma Hawkins. And we've seen her speed.
And this has probably not been the first half you want to see if you're a Central Arkansas fan, but this has just been a fun half of soccer. We've seen some physical play, but none of it has been dirty. Like sometimes you can see in those really competitive games, you play, you know, not with the best sportsmanship, but both of these teams have been playing with lots of sportsmanship. They are just going out there and giving it their all, and the refs are letting them give it their all, which is a lot of fun to watch, and I always appreciate when that happens in these types of games.
McFadden plays it back to C.J. Graham. She'll control and get it over to Hanger. Again, anytime that goes back to Graham, Emma Hawkins is right there putting pressure. There's one sent in, and Graham will come quickly before Hawkins is able to get over. That's really the best, probably, scoring opportunity touch we've seen from Central Arkansas tonight.
And we saw yet again that center back, this time it was Logan Mcfadden, last time Katia Hanger, following the ball into C.J. Graham, doing a good job of shielding the striker off of the ball, giving Graham a chance at it.
Here's Valenzuela trying to work into the box. Maybe got held up just a little bit in the box. Valenzuela so good with her footwork.
You have to remember that Valenzuela is only a freshman. She was not supposed to play this much this season, has come in and done phenomenal.
Tries to send one into the center. That one cleared back out to Carapaza. She'll send one deep. Nicely played by Webb. Under 5 to go, first half action. Shelby Craft, the difference maker so far, assisted by Allie Dunn. Again, what's at stake? Potentially the ASUN #1 seed in the upcoming conference tournament and some home field advantage, which may be more important than anything.
It is a long drive out to Arkansas if you're one of these Florida teams that might have to go up there.
There's Williams, she'll slip one in. Haley Williams gets a second goal at the 3:52 mark of the first half.
Another amazing diving kick from the Bisons. We saw Allie Dunn rather nearly get her goal as she's falling down. Haley Williams just gets a foot barely on that, is falling on the ground and still places that beautifully into the net. Perez has no chance on it.
Emanuela Shirk gets the assist to Haley Williams, and Williams picks up her third goal on the season. Time of the goal, 41 minutes and 21 seconds here in the first half. And again, Lipscomb with a 2-0 lead, but inches away. This could be 3-0 and Lipscomb running away with it. Now we're going to get, I believe, a yellow card. I think it's going to go against Shirk. Is that right?
As the Central Arkansas midfielder went down, she was lined up against Olivia Carapaza.
Maybe it was Carapaza. I thought it was Shirk, though. He held it up quickly. And they stopped the clock, and now it'll start back on the whistle.
And I'm surprised.
Now we've got, they had to move the clock back because they did not stop the clock, 3:16, so they had 5 seconds. That ball high, Katia Hanger able to get her head on it first. Here's an opportunity now for Central Arkansas, and that one will go high. Shot put up by Kelly Van Gundy. Most space we've really seen for an attacker for the Sugar Bears on that shot by Kelly Van Gundy.
And it always set up from that initial free kick off of that yellow card that did go against Olivia Carapazza. The Bisons didn't do anything to contest it, didn't really seem surprised by the call. So I must have missed something that had happened previously, but it didn't seem like it was super aggressive. I'm a little bit confused that there was a yellow card.
Could have been a warning maybe that we didn't catch earlier before that, but Carapazza with that yellow card. There is Olivia Carapazza now trying to make a play on it. She'll clear it out. It'll be Central Arkansas ball with 2 minutes to go, first half. Lipscomb leading 2-0 behind goals from Shelby Kraft and Haley Williams. Here's Hawkins trying to figure out how to make a move. Hawkins gets it into the middle, tries to squeeze it through two defenders. It's slowed up, and now Lipscomb trying to clear it out of there. They're not going to get it out, but they will have possession. Minute and a half to go, first half. And you got to think for Lipscomb, they're just trying to kind of get out of this first half with that 2-0 lead, whereas Central Arkansas maybe trying to make a quick late push.
And the problem that Hawkins is running into is that those two defenders she was going up against were Mcfadden and Kraft. And then when she finally sneaks the ball through those two defenders, Katia Hanger is right behind them. So Hawkins is an incredibly talented player and did a good job even just to sneak the ball through. She wasn't able to go with the ball, but she was able to get the ball past Logan Mcfadden and Shelby Kraft, but was unable to do anything with it because right there was Katia Hanger.
Here's Hare. She tries to send one in. That one's headed out by McFadden, and now they're going to get a foul, and that's going to go against, I believe that's Van Gundy. It is. Free kick now for Lipscomb, and they'll take their time with 32 seconds to go first half. And barring a late, quick counter attack, you would think that this will probably finish up the half. Carapazza, she'll send one down deep. Down to 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that will do it for the first half. Home team. Big first half for the Bisons. 12 shots, 5 on goal, and 2 find the back of the net. Allie Dunn with the assist to Shelby Kraft, 18 minutes and 33 seconds in, and then at the 41-minute mark, Haley Williams, assisted by Emanuela Shirk, and Lipscomb leads it 2-0. We'll take a 15-minute break. Be back with you with second half action when we continue. You're watching ASUN Women's Soccer between Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. Welcome back to the Lipscomb Soccer Complex as we are underway in the second half between Lipscomb and Central Arkansas. Justin Seaman alongside Erica Plunkett as Lipscomb with the 2-0 lead after 45 minutes of action. So final 45 minutes here, and we'll see if Central Arkansas can make a push. That one's going to be centered by Cami Rogers. Early opportunity for the Bisons, and now Lipscomb's going to get a corner kick.
And
there's a Central Arkansas player that's down. That looks like it's Gracie Hare, I believe. So Lipscomb will have the corner kick. It'll be Olivia Carapazza to take it.
And this second half might start to get a little bit more chippy. We saw Abby Gibson really upset that the Bisons were given that corner kick, as that almost turned into another goal for the Bisons. She really tried to plead her case with the referee, and you could tell she was very upset when it did not go her way, trying to make the argument that it never touched a bear before going out of bounds.
We were a little jump start here to the second half. There was still about a minute left on the clock, and then the referee decided to blow the whistle, and we started the second half. That's why we were just a couple of seconds late kind of starting here in the second half on our end, because we were watching the clock. Should have been watching the referee on the field. He was ready to go along with the players. 2 goals in the game, Shelby Kraft and Haley Williams for Lipscomb. Allie Dunn was inches away. It could be a 3-0 game. She hit one off the right post early in the first half. Again, Central Arkansas, the storyline so far, just 1 total shot in the first half for the Sugar Bears.
Now what they do have going in their advantage right now is you have Olivia Carapazza in the left back position. She was awarded a yellow card in the first half, so she's got to be careful, and I'm sure they will do their very best to exploit that situation going up there right side of the field.
Here's Molly Grant trying to get it over to Cammy Mcgee, one of the seniors for Lipscomb. Mcgee couldn't get a shot on goal. Mcfadden trying to track that one down. She will send it back, and that one's cleared by C.J. Graham. "13 shots for the Bisons, 1 for Central Arkansas." Now foul whistled, I think, against Shirk. Yeah, you say Carapazza awarded a yellow card. I don't know if award is the right, I mean, that is the terminology, but I don't know if it's a reward or an award to get the yellow card. More like I guess a penalty situation there, but another yellow card is problematic for sure. So she's going to have to be maybe a little less aggressive than she might be. That one's going to go all the way on goal, and C.J. Graham going to corral the ball and go to the ground. Shot by Webb. We've seen Taylor Webb with a pretty good leg. She's taken a lot of the goal kicks for Central Arkansas.
And it was an easy save for C.J. Graham, but she hasn't faced much action tonight, so a good chance for her to just get her hands on the ball, stay ready to go, stay warm, and
that's going to be a yellow card. A yellow card issued against Anika Sultan.
Yellow card. We've seen the refs be a little bit more generous, letting the players play a little bit more physical, longer than sometimes we see them let them play. But if you see the jersey being tugged on too much, then that yellow card is going to come out every time.
And now the goalie, that's going to be a penalty kick.
Goalies usually have a longer leash than most players, but coming up over the back of...
Well, I don't even know it was over the back. She just shoved Haley Williams in the back, just shoved her to the ground. I mean, there was no coming over the back. I mean, you would think there's more leeway when you're kind of both jumping and the goalie is actually going for the ball, but she just absolutely kind of gave that forearm shiver right into the back of Allie Dunn. So Allie Dunn will get the penalty kick. And she'll get the goal. 3-0 Lipscomb. Sweet redemption for Allie Dunn, who hit the right goalpost early in this game. She gets the penalty kick goal, and Lipscomb has a 3-0 lead over Central Arkansas.
I don't think anyone expected this score going into this game, knowing how potent the Central Arkansas offense had been all season long, especially Emma Hawkins up front. She has been stifled by Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger, but she has still got some speed. I know she still has a lot of fight left in her. This game, it's still far from over. 40 minutes left in this matchup. Emma Hawkins is going to do her best to pull her Bears at least to a tie. As a reminder, Central Arkansas only needs a tie to get the #1 seed in the West and host the tournament, at least the first round of the tournament starting on Friday.
Penalty kick goal, time of the goal, 50 minutes and 12 seconds into this one. And it was because of the foul in the box by the goalkeeper, Kayla Perez. Perez with the forearm shiver to the back of Allie Dunn, just sending her to the ground. But remember, that play all happened because of the yellow card. The yellow card that was issued against Anika Sultan. As into the box, that one going to go in there and cleared out by Lipscomb, at least momentarily. Here is Hawkins, and she was offside.
But
that was a dangerous,
chance.
Dangerous chance. We haven't seen that type of play really from Central Arkansas to really even be a threat.
And I think there's a little bit of a lack of communication there between Katia Hanger and Angela Seidel. Angela Seidel, once again, in for Emily Patty, has been for a couple games this season, so they know the lineup. But they were both going for the ball, and it kind of, one of them had to hesitate. Otherwise, they would have run each other over, and Emma Hawkins would have had a very good chance on goal against CJ Graham. But in that hesitation, they were able to let the Bears get an opportunity. But that's why Coach O'Brien believes that Emma Hawkins could potentially be the ASUN Player of the Year, because she's able to turn chances out of seemingly nothing and continue to fight with her team.
Yeah, still plenty of time in this one, but you would think Central Arkansas got to kind of change the mindset a little bit more. I mean, it's another thing too. You think about the Central Arkansas team, 6-2 in the conference. They haven't trailed in a lot of games. I mean, when you're 6-2, you're not going to be trailing a lot, and so Central Arkansas, kind of a different scenario than they've been in a lot this year. Here's Cami Rogers. She's got a lot of time and space. Now closed quickly by Emma Hawkins, coming, and just shows you how fast she is.
I expect to see a lot more of Emma Hawkins in the midfield. She hung up top for most of the first half, kind of saving her energy for any potential chances that she got. But as this game gets later and later in the match, and now it being a 3-0 score instead of a 1-0 score, like we saw for much of the first half, I think she'll try to make some more moves in the midfield and set up her team in their offensive third.
Here's Dunn, who just scored the penalty kick goal moments ago and slips one, and they're going to say Lipscomb offside. Cami Rogers, she slipped one in between a defender, and Cami Rogers was coming fast on Kayla Perez, and almost a little collision, but the side referee calling offside. Again, the 3 goals by Lipscomb. Shelby Kraft, assisted by Allie Dunn, got her scoring underway. Then it was Haley Williams with the goal, assisted by Emanuela Shirk. And then not too long ago, it was Allie Dunn with the penalty kick goal. Pretty good opportunity on a free kick now for Central Arkansas. Sends one into the box. That one headed towards the goal, but a little wide. But may get actually credit for an actual shot there, and if so, that'd be the first one of the second half. Only had one in the first half, did Central Arkansas. Lipscomb has outshot Central Arkansas 14-2, and 6 of Lipscomb's 14 shots have been on goal. No corner kicks for Central Arkansas. Lipscomb's had 2. That one cleared out that time by Adley Barham. Steidel coming up from her right back position. She'll move into the offensive end. Into the box. Here's Dunn again. She'll put the left foot on it, trying to get one over to Cami Rogers. Needed to be a couple inches taller on that one as it slips over the top of her head.
But another good chance for the Bisons. Every time it seems Central Arkansas gets it down, Lipscomb's in. Lipscomb continues to respond. We saw this against Jacksonville State, but watching these games, even when Lipscomb has the lead, they look like the team who's behind.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is not a team that's going to get the lead and then just sit back and play defense. That's just not in Lipscomb's DNA. They've got that great backline defense, but they're going to keep pressing.
Coach O'Brien said that this game was all about them being who they are, and he said, we're aggressive. That's who we are. That's how we're going to play against Central Arkansas. That's who we're going to continue to be, because that's what's worked for us so far.
Logan Mcfadden just gets it out of harm's way momentarily. Get her defense set up now. Long throw in that time. Gets it to Gibson. Gibson then has it poked back out of play. Under 34 minutes to go in this one. Lipscomb with the commanding 3-0 lead. Central Arkansas trying to get onto the board.
And we've mentioned how this game is for seeding in ASUN women's soccer, getting that #1 seed. The winner tonight will get the #1 seed if Central Arkansas, if they were to tie, Central Arkansas does hold the tiebreaker. Meanwhile, men's soccer team is down at Jacksonville playing at 0-0 at the half. They are currently sitting at second in their conference. They are not divided into a West and East because they only have 8 teams with men's soccer in the ASUN. So that tournament is set up differently, but they are currently sitting behind Central Arkansas just like the women are here. And they are playing Jacksonville, which is at the tie at the half, and then they will come home to play Mercer on Tuesday and finish out the season Saturday night against Central Arkansas, with the chance potentially to take the lead in the conference.
Great move here by Hawkins, and you could see the skill. She made a nice run on it, but just couldn't find room to get the shot off. Give you an update on some of the women's soccer scores around the ASUN. Is Cami Rogers still time? Molly Grant does stay on side. Here's Grant. She'll put one on goal, and Perez kind of just knocks that one down right in front of her, but another nice scoring opportunity for Lipscomb. Liberty a winner in double overtime, 3-2 over Kennesaw State. Jacksonville beats North Florida, a little surprise there, 2-0. Bellarmine gets the win over Eastern Kentucky in the West Division. That one assures Lipscomb no worse than second place in the West Division. Florida Gulf Coast, second half action, they lead Stetson 1-0. And then, of course, here in the second half, Lipscomb with the 3-0 advantage over Central Arkansas. Lipscomb again moving in. Here's Dunn. She's going to have it poked away. Will it stay in? Yes, it will. Tracking it down for Central Arkansas.
I want to go back to that Molly Grant shot just for a second, because what we've seen from Lipscomb, and one of the reasons that they're so dangerous, is they're not afraid to take shots from well outside what you would think is normal range, and they do so with surprising success. We see Shelby Craft hit those shots all the time, it seems. And Molly Grant there, she just had another beautiful ball. It just continued to rise. It seemed like it was just going to edge over Perez's hands. Perez was able to get her hands on it and keep it a 3-0 score. But they have to be so cognizant of all of these Bisons from well further out than they typically are based upon where most skulls occur throughout the season.
Carapaza's got a great leg as well for Lipscomb. She sends that one back into the middle. Here's Dunn, right side, couple of Sugar Bears closing in on her. Here's Hawkins trying to use her speed. You talked about her moving back more to the midfield. She does there to try to get possession. Here's Grant, she's onside. That one just got under it a little bit, sends it high. So Molly Grant again trying to put pressure on Central Arkansas. 16 shots by Lipscomb in this one, 7 have been on goal. Now we're gonna get some subs as coming in for Lipscomb. Trying to see who came in. I believe that was number 13 for the Bisons, which is Sky Bond. We've seen Bond a lot in action, but didn't see her in the first half. And now I think Coach Kevin O'Brien thinking, let's go with some really fresh legs here in the second half. Really put some pressure on Central Arkansas.
And a reason we did not see her in the first half is likely because of senior night. Christy Jones and Cammy Mcgee, who both had phenomenal first halves, came in for their last home regular season game as a Bison. And so they got this start in a spot where they typically wouldn't have, which, you know, sometimes doesn't always work to your advantage to switch up the lineup, but it did in Lipscomb's case, and now they just have more threats coming off the bench. If you're Central Arkansas, you have to be getting a little bit tired knowing how successful not just the top two for Lipscomb are, but so many people on this roster. You mentioned before, I believe 12 people have scored for the Bisons.
Here's Sky Bond in the middle. She's got some room, trying to find a partner to play with. Now she'll kick it back to Shelby Kraft. Under 30 to go in this one. Lipscomb with the 3-0 advantage. Grant, she's had a couple of shots lately. She wants to get in the scoring action. Shelby Kraft, she's not afraid to kick it from there. Trying to give and go between her and Shirk. Hawkins, man, she closes fast. Gonna get a foul on Kraft. 28 minutes left here in the second half. Again, what's at stake? Number 1 seed in the upcoming ASUN Conference Tournament and home field advantage. Of course, next Friday, will be the quarterfinals. Cami Rogers, single elimination tournament. 8 teams make it into the conference tournament. Molly Grant fights through the defender. Here's Grant working left side. Slips and just kind of falls down, and that'll be played that time by Taylor Webb. She'll get it back over. Working to the left side. Webb kind of questioned it for a second, even off the slip, was looking for somebody to pass it to. Defenders for Central Arkansas have been busy tonight. Noah Ganthier coming in. We're going to get some subs as well for Central Arkansas. This is the point you start seeing for sure, and some fresh legs. And you know Lipscomb with the 3-0 advantage, they want to keep their legs as fresh as possible. Here's Hawkins. Right side. Shot that's going to go off of the chest of Carapaza. That's Bro. And then it's going to go towards Lipscomb. Sydney Bro had a shot. Mcfadden just sent a clearing one out, kept in the offensive zone. That one cut off by Emma Hawkins. She's still looking to find a shot here in this one. ASUN leading scorer with 13 goals. Now Lipscomb on the counter. Here's Noah Ganthier. She's got some room. Trying to get past a defender. Can't. Defender goes down. Ganthier following, but here's Bro coming back from just having an attack of her own on the other end. Katya Hanger trying to find some help here. That's a dangerous pass back to CJ Graham.
You saw why she didn't want to make that move. Initially, she guarded Emma Hawkins off of the ball and then realized she didn't have another option. Angela Steidel was on the other side of a bear, and Logan Mcfadden was on the other side of Emma Hawkins, so she had no choice but to trust her goalie. And CJ Graham timed that kick just right and saved the Bisons.
Foul against Lipscomb. You're seeing a little bit of a pushback, though, here by Central Arkansas. Starting to get more aggressive. Still being outshot 16-3 in this, and they have still yet to record a shot on goal.
And that's so unusual for them. They average 13.4 shots per game, and that's resulted in 34 goals for them. Meanwhile, Lipscomb has 27 goals in the season, not counting tonight's 3, and averages 17.5 shots per game. So Lipscomb does average more shots per game, but not to the extent that we're seeing tonight.
Kirapaza heads that one out of play. Yeah, interesting though, Central Arkansas averaging over 2 goals a game. Here's Hawkins trying to get into the box. This one's going to be sent. That'll be wide, way wide left, and it'll be a goal kick for CJ Graham. Under 24 minutes to go, second half action. Final regular season game of the ASUN as the ASUN Conference Tournament begins next week. Mcfadden tying her shoe back there. They're going to stop the clock.
They're very mindful of players not eating up the clock just to eat up the clock, which in that case Mcfadden, of course, was not doing, but they want to give Central Arkansas the full 23:30 left in this game.
And no stoppage time. So the only time you're going to get stoppages is when the referee stops the clock.
And all Central Arkansas needs is 3 goals. Yes, that's a big obstacle to overcome, but they don't need the win. They just need a tie.
You can't get 3 before you get 1, so you got to get that first one to get on the scoreboard. 23 minutes to go. Central Arkansas has shown more of an offensive push here the last 4 or 5 minutes. Oh, 2 Sugar Bears colliding there. Looked like one of those players was Gracie Hare. Comes Haley Williams. She'll come in for Molly Grant. Williams, of course, had a goal in the first half. And the only issue for Lipscomb playing with the lead like this, it's a, you know, one of those kind of blessing and curse scenarios, is that they are so aggressive. They're not necessarily set up to just kind of sit back and kind of play that defensive game. So, you know, I mean, it works for you and against you in some ways. That they're, you know, they're not just going to sit back and just kind of a defensive posture, where we have seen some teams. I mean, take you back to that Jacksonville State game. That's what Jacksonville State did against Lipscomb until Lipscomb finally was able to win it late in the game. Mcfadden pops one in the air, and that one juggled around. Williams turns and just misses her second goal of the game. Perez couldn't get a handle on it, ran into one of her own players. I think she ran into maybe Webb. I think that was Taylor Webb she ran into, and who was right there in the ball at her feet was Haley Williams.
Wasn't really at the right position to be able to make that pass, but there were several other Bisons in that vicinity as well that might have had a better angle at that shot.
17th shot, though, by Lipscomb. Pushed from behind that time by Central Arkansas on a Manuela Shirk.
It impresses me how Lipscomb keeps up their energy despite a somewhat depleted bench, and just even in their 4 overtime games that they've played this season, a couple of those going to double overtime, we don't see any sort of drop off from what we see from them when they first start the game. They all want to be out here every single day. Coach O'Brien said every day in practice is a competition to see who can get better.
Carapaz sending one towards the goal. As Barham goes over there, kicks it out. I think it will be a throw, and it will. Good positioning by Barham just to kind of make a play, make sure avoid the corner. And when thrown into the box, cleared out. Here's Hawkins. Trying to make a move on Mcfadden. We've seen the advantage that Hawkins has over Mcfadden with her speed, but what you see on that play, the advantage that Mcfadden has with her size.
And as a fan, you just enjoy watching Mcfadden and Hawkins line up. Arguably the best offensive player in the league and one of the best defensive players in the league. That's just quality soccer that you're getting to see.
And here comes Hawkins trying to get in. She gets a shot, and finally a shot on goal. She didn't get a ton on it there, and C.J. Graham makes an easy save, but by my count and by the stats, that's the first shot on goal of the game, and it comes with under 20 minutes to go in the second half. And shot on goal used a little loosely there because there was not much on that.
It wasn't at an angle where it really was that much of a threat for C.J. Graham. She had a very slim window to shoot into, and it made it very easy for C.J. Graham to know exactly where she needed to be and to get that one on the ground in her hands.
Nicely played that time by Webb to get that one out of there. Still not out of harm's way. Played that time by Landry. Into the middle, little space for Central Arkansas. Van Gundy works it to Bro. Sydney Bro in the corner, and she'll earn a corner kick, first of the night for Central Arkansas.
If you're Central Arkansas, you have got to execute this corner kick better than you've executed any corner kick so far this season. You're given a great chance here to try to eat into the Bison's 3-0 lead, so you don't want to squander this chance just kicking the ball into the side of the net.
Good positioning. It slips through the defenders and able to clear it out as Carapaz. I mean, that, you talk about executing well, that was a great executed kick, just couldn't follow it up and find the back of the net.
Absolutely, but those, if you execute them that well, it sets up another chance off of the throw, in which that did not go exactly where they were hoping that cross would go into, but one good chance sets up another good chance. And so that's what they have to continue to keep in mind, is that if they can start getting more chances on goal, those will just continue to build. They still have almost 17 minutes, and that's plenty of time to get a couple goals.
A couple of subs checking in for Lipscomb. Grace Oliver coming in, one of those subs. Ganthier cuts off that pass. Now sub for Central Arkansas. Gabby Theus, who played in the first half 17 minutes, will check in at the 16 minutes left mark in the second half. 16 minutes to go for Central Arkansas. And again, top spot in the ASUN tournament on the line. Central Arkansas coming in, led the West Division with 12 points, Lipscomb with 9, but a win by Lipscomb, an outright win, gives them 12 points and the tiebreaker.
We see Central Arkansas making those subs, trying to get some more chances, but Coach O'Brien looks ready to make a couple subs of his own. I see at least Shadia Valenzuela over there alongside, I believe, Tori Wheeler. So 2 more players for the Bisons that have created chances, and Shadia Valenzuela has a couple goals on this season as well.
Of course, the other thing, too, you bring in subs, you're bleeding a few extra seconds off the clock as well. 15 minutes to go. Final 15. And again, as Erica said, I know it's a 3-0 deficit, but 3 goals, it doesn't have to be the win for Central Arkansas. A tie gets them the first place seed. Lipscomb has to have the win to get the first place seed.
At that point, Lipscomb would finish with 10 points and Central Arkansas would finish with 13. So
again, it's a 3-0 lead, and again, we were inches away from it being a 4-0 game because Allie Dunn had one before we had any scoring go off the goal post. Kraft, nice touch. Centering pass there, cleared away. It was Tori Wheeler for Lipscomb. Lipscomb going down the bench here, getting fresh legs everywhere they can. The one area they don't go with the fresh legs is they're too solid in the back middle, and Katia Hanger and Logan Mcfadden.
And they've been so crucial to this team's success. It's really, they've been together in this program for 3 to 4 years. But
Ganthier sends a shot on goal. Maybe tried a little deception there. Didn't have a ton on it, but just trying to deceive Perez a little bit, but she wasn't fooled.
and each shot eats more time off the clock as Perez takes her time setting up her team. But on that defense, it's really the first year that both Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger have been healthy and at their best. Both of them have had injury seasons, and even though the Bisons have had numerous injuries, we don't want to jinx anything. We want them to stay healthy, but they've been super blessed to have the two of them on that back line, and they do a great job defending their goal.
Battling over there's Abby Johnson against Katia Hanger, and a couple more subs checking in for Lipscomb, also Central Arkansas, and the clock now becoming probably the biggest enemy of the Central Arkansas Sugar Bears right now.
And that sub did finally sub out Christy Jones for likely the last time in a regular season game for the Bisons. I don't think she'll come back in the last 12-20 unless Central Arkansas does tie it up, and then we might see her in overtime. But just a player who's done a lot Coach O'Brien's super thankful for. We already saw Cammy Mcgee go off. They helped build this program and get this program to their first NCAA championships in 2018 and 2019. And they want to get them back there one more time in their senior campaigns.
Under 12 to go from Nashville. Been a perfect night for soccer. Seeing the blankets and the jackets coming out a little bit. It's cooled down from the fan perspective, but you got to think this just feels great if you're running around out there.
This is ideal soccer weather. It was just warm enough during warm-ups that you could get yourself warm before it got too cool outside. And you aren't cold out there as a player, but you're also not getting hot. So these are the games. There's like a very short window of time if you live in Tennessee that's
right.
Ideal weather to play a sport. you start off, especially in the fall seasons, you start off sweating and it's, 100 degrees outside, and then you finish off the season, and here in a couple weeks we'll probably be seeing some frost on the ground. But these are the weeks that you love to play soccer. And then also it happens to fall on the weeks that the season means the most, and you have these games where you're fighting for the #1 seed in your conference tournament, and you're fighting for that chance to go to the big tournament and represent your school at the national level.
There's a battle there, and falling to the ground for Lipscomb is Tori Wheeler, but she'll get the advantage.
I think you're seeing a little bit of desperation there from Alyssa Faison, who she's trying to give her team a chance here at the end. The Bison fans would have loved to see a foul there on Tori Wheeler, but Faison was really just playing really hard and trying to get her team a chance. So I think it was a good no call by the refs.
Great move that time by Kelly Van Gundy for Central Arkansas. 18-4 the shot differential. Lipscomb with 18 shots in this one. Central Arkansas with just 4, and they've had only 1 shot on goal this entire game. Another goal kick, and we are under 10 minutes to go in regulation.
And for a team who not only has so many shots on goal, but you said it in the first half, a 50% shot on goal percentage, which is just incredible, and an incredibly efficient team. To see them not get chances is just a testament to that back line for the Bisons. Even as it's been through a lot of changes, we now see subs in for both Olivia Carapaza and Angela Steidel. But those two in the middle, Logan Mcfadden and Katia Hanger, plus Olivia Carapaza, Angela Steidel, Emily Patty when she's in, and then currently we have Grace Oliver and I believe that's Summer Elmore on the back line joining them. You see Lipscomb and you see the almost 18 shots and you think they're an offensive team, and then you forget about how strong that back line is, as well as Shelby Kraft and CJ Graham always making a huge impact back there. Lipscomb is just a very well-rounded team, an aggressive team. They know who they are. They feel very confident in where they are in this season. Coach O'Brien says he knows that this team could be ranked high in the country. He truly believes that they could be ranked nationally, knows that injuries, as well as they played some teams that I think they thought were going to have a better record. Like Mississippi State, they started off the season with a win over an SEC opponent here at home, and Mississippi State just wasn't having quite the season that they're used to having in past years, and so sometimes that works against you in the rankings. There's some things just out of their control. But I feel confident that Lipscomb is a team that if they do well in this upcoming tournament and get that spot in the NCAA tournament, they could go far. They are a team that a lot of teams should be scared to play, and you see that footwork from Shelby Kraft. That's just one of the many reasons why Lipscomb is such a talented team.
Shadia Valenzuela trying to get just a touch on it, might have slipped past Perez. Yeah, and really what you're seeing here is the depth of Lipscomb's team. I mean, they've emptied the bench, and still, we've talked about, they had 3 and 4 starters that went down with season-ending injuries, and it doesn't look like Lipscomb's missed a beat.
No, and we saw those moments when they did. The game against Pepperdine, the game against Vanderbilt were just off of their usual standard, and you saw them get a little bit off put. That Vanderbilt game, they had 2 goals within the first 5 minutes, and then Lipscomb kept them silent for the rest of it. So they could have easily had another SEC win. So they've learned from those moments when they did struggle and just done a really good job of not letting that phase them, which is really impressive, especially when you look at some of the young players on this roster, like Shadia Valenzuela and Summer Elmore and Sky Bond and Evie Reeder and all these players who we weren't expecting to see as much this season, but they've come in and handled every opportunity and every chance they've given with so much grace. and done a really good job of listening to the veterans on this team, as well as all of their coaches. And you can see the team chemistry as a result of that.
6 minutes to go in this one, 6 minutes away from what looks like will be Lipscomb getting a regular season win against Central Arkansas and claiming the #1 spot in the ASUN tournament. Tripped over down there deep in Lipscomb's end, and Logan Mcfadden will be the one to take the kick. But what an impressive performance. And, you know, it's been Lipscomb from the get-go in this one. I mean, they're really, I mean, you're getting to the point where you were thinking at some point Central Arkansas might make a push, but it just hasn't happened. I mean, Lipscomb has shut the door and just really has not had much of a threat, quite frankly, from Central Arkansas.
And I believe the second half has been closer than even the first half. The first half, I don't think we went, I believe it was like 25 minutes into the game where we even saw Emma Hawkins touch the ball in Lipscomb's box, which is so unusual for her.
Here's Valenzuela with some space. Kicks one wide. Here's Kraft. Tries to kind of sneak it past Perez into that left corner. She didn't put a ton on it. Instead, I think was trying to go a little more finesse there. And Perez with a nice save. But again, another shot by Lipscomb in this one, just keeping the pressure on.
I also wonder if there's a little bit of hesitation, maybe was trying to get it to Tori Wheeler, who is right on the other side of Perez.
19 shots, 9 have been on goal for Lipscomb. Ganthier with a nice move, and now Noah Ganthier is undercut. No yellow card issued.
It's good to see Noah Ganthier get up. I wouldn't have been surprised if the ref had pulled a yellow in that situation.
You wonder if it's just because of the 3-0 lead that there's no yellow card issued, but still. Centers it back towards the middle. Valenzuela turns. She'll send one towards the goal. It gets stopped up and then comes back. Ricochets off Valenzuela. I mean, that was ping-ponging around in there. Now we're going to get time stopped. I'm not sure what happened exactly. They're going to stop the clock, and I have a sub come in.
And that was such a dangerous
and that ball was just, it was just like rolling right around the goal line there.
Several Bear defenders, it kind of seemed like, you know how sometimes they have to yell Peter and a punt to avoid the ball, because if one of them made the wrong move, it was sitting practically on the goal
that's
line.
One of those. It could have almost ricocheted off of a Central Arkansas player into the goal. Again, I mean, this is close to where it could have been a 5-0 rout here, because Lipscomb's had two, I mean, just on the doorstep. One off the goalpost, and then that one there literally was knocking on the goal line door. Under 3 minutes left.
And barring a miracle, this game is all but over. Credit to Lipscomb. They had a couple games this season that didn't go their way early on in conference play. Some games that I know they wish they could get back. But they have done a phenomenal job in responding and continuing to learn every day, get better. They're not complacent. They're an aggressive team who knows what they want. And they want an ASUN title, and they want it right here in the Lipscomb Soccer Complex in a couple weekends from now.
Well, we've seen it before. Lipscomb has won an ASUN championship on their home field. Under 2 minutes to go. And Lipscomb still attacking. Here's Valenzuela. Trying to work through. Shelby Kraft goes wide. Some space for Sky Bond. Now Bond can just bleed the clock. And she'll do just that. It'll be kicked out. Nope, gonna stay in.
Central Arkansas would have been better to have that ball go out as it goes to Shelby Kraft now.
Back to Bond. To Kraft. Playing in tight space down there. Bond again will go back to the delay of game type tactic, which perfectly legal here in play. Under a minute to go. Center to Valenzuela. She stops it, but can't get back over there in time, and then she slips down. Kicked back to Graham, and we have got 30 seconds left in this one. What a dominant performance by the Lipscomb Bisons in this one.
And it was an all-around team win, as this season has been. There wasn't just a star for the Bisons. There's several people we can point out and talk about how amazing their game was tonight, but it's more impressive to me that we can pick out 3 or 4 players instead of just one. And one of those players who we can point out is going to finish the game with the ball as Lipscomb clinches the #1 seed in the West.
Shelby Kraft finishes with the ball on her foot. She started the scoring with the ball on her foot. Shelby Kraft got the first goal of the game. It ended up being the difference maker as it's a shutout for the Lipscomb Bisons, as Shelby Kraft, Haley Williams, and Allie Dunn do the scoring for the Bisons, and they take it over Central Arkansas 3-0. Lipscomb will improve to 12-4-1, but more importantly, they move to 7-2 in the ASUN Conference, get their 12th point, and none more bigger than this one, as they are going to have the #1 seed coming up in the ASUN Conference tournament, and that means they're going to be hosting next Friday afternoon, we believe. That should be a 2 o'clock start. Lipscomb will be playing on this field. We'll get all the seeding sorted out, but we do know Lipscomb's going to be that #1 seed.
And they have earned it. I can't think of a better team to be able to host this tournament. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch as we go into the tournament play. There's a chance that they're going to end up playing against a team that they haven't seen before because of those crossover games. We'll have to wait and let the ASUN sort out all of the final results, but I believe the 2 seed in the East, if it settles as we expect it to, will come and play Lipscomb, or come and play in Lipscomb's side of the tournament this weekend. So Lipscomb probably won't see them on Friday, but we'll see them potentially in the semifinals on Sunday. So the 8-team matchup starts on Friday, and it's an exciting time of the season. We're getting towards tournament play for the men's soccer team as well, who is still sitting at a 0-0 tie with 70 in the 70th minute at Jacksonville, and then volleyball is coming up as well. So be sure to come out to these games and continue to follow Lipscomb soccer as they push for an NCAA tournament bid.
October and the beginning of November is always a fun month of sports. You've got the convergence of a lot of different sports going on, both professionally and locally in the college. You mentioned it, men's, women's soccer, volleyball, and then basketball getting ready to get revved up here on the Lipscomb campus. But for tonight, Lipscomb with the win, 3-0 over Central Arkansas. Lipscomb, the #1 seed in the ASUN Conference tournament. Central Arkansas drops to 9-8 overall, 6-3 in the ASUN. So for Erica Plunkett, I'm Justin Seaman saying so long from Nashville. Your final score, Lipscomb a winner over Central Arkansas, 3-0. They will be the #1 seed in the upcoming ASUN Conference tournament. For all your Lipscomb sports news, make sure you go to lipscombsports.com.